Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my walkthrough of the KSP career. My name is Negative, and today we're going to be capturing an asteroid. That's right, this is going to be the final mission that I walk you through, and from here on in, you're on your own. So, I've found an asteroid, and I brought this craft up into orbit. Now this is a nuclear powered thing. Basically the key points are nukes, claw, that's about it, and the nukes are debatable. You don't even need these. I've just picked them because of their high ISP, and therefore I have a large amount of Delta V, nearly 6,000 in fact. So you just saw MechJeb completing a burn for me. I'm going to be using MechJeb to execute maneuver nodes because I've been flying enough of them, and I think you all know how to complete a maneuver burn. So right now, I need to show you how to fly an asteroid. Let's jump back to the Space Center. Finding asteroids are very, very simple. All you need to do is, well, when the game loads, tracking center, come into the tracking center, zoom out, and then you'll get these weird little question marks floating in the air. These are asteroids. Now, all you need to do to find one that suits your purposes is you click on it. Okay, here's a C class, it's untracked. Actually, there's an E class. Oh yeah, they're huge. Okay, you can see it's quite inclined to the plane of our orbit, so that's going to make things interesting. And I want to click track object down in the bottom left. So when I do that, you see that all of a sudden I get what's going to happen. In the future, this is going to intersect Kerbin's sphere of influence, and it's going to take us, well, it's going to go 52 million meters away from Kerbin, so not terribly close. So I looked through a bunch of asteroids and I found one that's going to be our target for this mission, so I'll stop tracking this one. Now this is the asteroid, it's ZAC 666, and it's going to have a really close approach with Kerbin, 418,000 meters, and it's going to happen in 88 days. So what I want to do first of all is I want to warp until it's in the SOI. Get rid of that. I'll get rid of that as well. So you can see that we're coming around slowly. That asteroid is actually going to hit. Or, no, that was the E class. These asteroids do hit Kerbin on occasion, so that's something to remember, that maybe you want to keep an eye out for incoming asteroids, and if one is going to hit Kerbin, you need to run out and change its trajectory. But playing around with asteroids, you can see that it's quite hard, really, for an asteroid to hit Kerbin. You might look at 50 asteroids and none of them will hit. I found an A class that was actually going to hit. Luckily, an A class kind of isn't heavy enough to do much more than put a big hole in the ground. Okay, so here we are. We're back in orbit. This is our close approach, and you can see that the separation right now is quite far away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down 2 maneuver nodes, and the reason for that, that one needs to come second. So here I'm going to put down a maneuver node. Okay, it doesn't matter where it is, just as long as it's in front of. Hold on. I need to do this in order. So I'm going to put down one over here. This is going to be my burn node. That's a burn node. And this is going to be a watch node. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, now I need to get the timing right. Okay? This this asteroid is going to be moving quick. Okay? So in the course of one orbit, you know, the asteroid might go from being over here to over here very quickly. So we need to make sure that as we come around the planet and as we're in this vicinity, the asteroid is actually there as well. So I'm going to add maneuvers until we actually get one that's close. Now the asteroid, by simple orbital mechanics will pick up speed. So you're going to notice that this separation marker is going to start jumping faster. And this is the way to do it most efficiently. I'm going to assume that you can get a craft up and into an orbit that's relatively similar to your target asteroid. The trick is, and see how it's starting to jump? The trick is to just make sure that you're close. See how it jumped a little bit more, and boom, all of a sudden, this is over here. So if we jump one more, see how it jumps such a far distance. So from here, all the way to over there, in the space of one orbit. Okay, so I'm going to add in that node there, and then I'm going to come to my burn node, okay? And you can see how that's moving my approach. And this is all because I'm just changing my orbital period by a little bit. And then, okay, I need to explain this. Okay, this is a burn I'm going to make in 19 minutes. The watch node, the watch node's gone away, but it's still showing me the separation in 9 days. So what's happened in 9 days time, we're getting this intersect. The reason I'm doing this now is because I'm going to change my orbital period by no more than a couple of minutes. And actually, if we have a look at the orbital info, okay, the orbital period is the important thing here because that's the time it takes us to go around. Oh, there we are. There's our watch node. So the watch node, okay, watches in front of time. Okay, so I've set that maneuver so that we can suss out what's happening in 9 days' time. Okay, this one is going to happen right now in 19 minutes, and the result is we can see forward in time as to what our separation is going to be. If I wait too long, this bloody thing is going to go from here to here very quickly. You can see how far it moves in the course of one orbit, okay? So when we're here, okay, the asteroid will be there. By the time we come around the planet again, we're going to meet it here-ish. And this, I'm pretty happy with this, so I'm going to execute this node. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you use a watch node. So you can see that when I delete the watch node, the separation goes back to it being out there. So the watch node looks forward in time to see what's going to happen in 9 days' time after we've after the asteroid's a bit closer. The burn node is to adjust our orbit right now, so that that change in orbit can accumulate. So let me just go to orbit info. So the orbital period right now is 58:45. That's what it is. So we'll see what that changes to. And it's 45 seconds as well. That's 58 minutes, 45 seconds. Because right now what I'm changing is how long it takes me to go around, so that the timing is right, so that as the asteroid comes in, I'm in the same spot. So we've gone from 58:45 to 59:25. So that is 15 plus 25 seconds. That's 40 seconds. Okay, 40 seconds difference in our orbit. Okay, the time it takes us to go around is all that it took to theoretically get us a close approach in 9 days' time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, what's our orbit here? It's not quite. I'm going to have to jump back to the Space Center and the Tracking Center so that I can warp in a little bit further. And then we'll go back to the craft at about 1 day to intercept. Because these things do take patience, and you can see that burn was 7 meters per second, so very, very subtle. Okay, Zach, here you are. Let's go, Zach. So we'll bring the time warp up. And as I said, we're looking for about a day. You can see its velocity increasing as it comes closer. And I'm guessing that it's going to be around 1,000 to 1,500 by the time it gets closer to the periapsis. Hey, it's going to be moving. Oop, bring that time warp down. I don't want it to go shooting through. And you can see, if I can get it on screen, there's our asteroid redirect mission. It's circling the planet, ready for this to come down And theoretically, as this comes around, this will be in the same spot, theoretically. So let's walk forward a little bit more. Asteroid missions are fairly difficult. Basically, there's 2 steps. Step 1 is get a rendezvous. Step 2 is redirect it. So once we've got a rendezvous, we'll go about changing its orbit. And its orbit is pretty good, actually. Because it's in a counterclockwise orbit, this isn't going to take very much to break it, I don't think. Because you can see that it's... what's that time? 2 days. It's in quite a strong U shape. If this thing was just shooting straight through, we're going to know that there's a ton of velocity there that we'd have to wipe off to get our close approach. So we've got a day-ish to go. You can see it's orbiting around. So yeah, that's kind of the 2 parts to an asteroid redirect. Yeah, you got to firstly rendezvous, secondly redirect it. The rendezvous is always the hardest. And with rendezvous with asteroids, you need to have solid foundations. You got to know how the different things will work out. Okay, how are we looking? You can see that those intersects are jumping around. So we'll bring the time warp up. And see that it's going to jump closer every single time. And I hope I've done this right. You can see how it's starting to jump further each orbit. And because, 39.4 kilometers. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, once we get the rendezvous, we're going to have to kill all of our relative velocity with the asteroid. So you can see we're a little bit behind it. And this could have been fine-tuned more. If I was willing to sit there and play around with a node, I could have done it. Now, something important. We see that as we come around, that's already there. It's traveling a bit faster than us, so it's going to be a matter of, us washing off as much target velocity as we can and coming to a halt relative to the asteroid. Then our rendezvous will be complete. Around we come. How quick is it going? Wow, it's already at 1500, 1600. Ooh, this is going a bit faster than I thought it was. That's going to be tough. Because remember, I got to stop this thing. So there it is. You can see quite clearly what I was getting at. Is as the asteroid comes in, we're in a similar position. Oh, our closest approach is very, very soon. So what I want to do is I want to point retrograde and start to wipe off some of this velocity because we've got 1,000 meters per second of differential velocity here, and that's going to take a little bit of stopping. The other thing that we can do is basically we're in just a varied rendezvous attitude right now, so that we're just going to proceed like we would if we were rendezvousing with a station. Okay, we're going to push the retrograde onto the anti-target marker. See if we can kill some of this velocity. And the distance I'm not too worried about at the moment. What I'll do is I'll get worried when we get closer. So basically what I want to do is I want to kill this down. We're still 200 kilometers away, but I want to get this down to a manageable amount. I've got 1300 meters per second in this stage. Okay, we'll go to full thrust here. See if we can get it down to about 600 meters per second. Let's just walk forward a little bit. See, our target velocity is falling right now. That's because we're coming onto a similar orbit. Okay, we're 50 kilometers away. Time to power on. As Jeremy Clarkson used to say, more power! Alright, we're just got to see if we can push this target marker onto the anti-target marker. The retrograde velocity vector onto the anti-target marker would be the correct way of saying that. So now you can see our intersect is decreasing. Right, so we've got our close approach back, because right now we're at 30 kilometers. And if I can work on this vector a little bit, I should be able to get an encounter a little bit sooner than that. So there's 41 kilometers. So I'm just trying to push this retrograde back onto the anti-target marker. And this does take a lot of delta V, because you're in a spastic orbit and you're rendezvousing with something that is on escape trajectory. So you gotta just work with it. So bring a lot of fuel when you're doing this. Otherwise you're gonna have a bad day. Okay, so right now we're starting to bend our orbit to something that is pretty close to what they've got. What we'll do is we'll have a look around for it. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Passing off our, what's that? Port? Starboard. Off our starboard bow. Right, so we're just going to keep pushing this, trying to get that closer approach. See this? We're really starting to bend it now. That's good news. Okay, once it's over there, I'm going to halt progress. We'll have another look. Okay. Now its PE is very, very soon, and unfortunately I haven't been able to get the rendezvous before the periapsis. Originally I was trying to get it up here somewhere so that I could be docked ready for burn at periapsis. However, that's not going to happen. It's a bit of an unfortunate thing. So I will go towards the target. And what I'll do is I'll just see if I can improve our rendezvous time a little. Yeah, that's a little bit sooner. Okay, we'll go retrograde again. Unfortunately, I haven't timed this perfectly. If I was really trying to time it perfectly, I would look to be connected with the asteroid when it was up here somewhere. You know, when we had our close approach back here somewhere. Have that as our rendezvous. Whereas we're having our rendezvous down here, all that means is we're going to lose some of the Oberth effect as we come out of the nearest place to Kerbin. So we've got a little bit of time, so let's warp here. And now the relative velocity is very, very small. It's nothing like the 1,000 meters per second that we started with, which I think is important to note. We're still 50 kilometers away, or 5 kilometers away rather, and close approach is roughly 1 kilometer. So what we'll do is we'll just see if we can work on this close approach a little bit. Again, push that retrograde onto the marker. And we're still running on this first stage that we had, our first nuclear stage. But we just lost the close approach. You can see that our craft has actually hit escape velocity as well. That is expected. Why? Because we've just rendezvoused with something that's moving at escape velocity. Therefore, physics, you've got to be going the same speed. So if they're going escape velocity, you must be too. Got 3 kilometers. Target velocity is down to 30 meters per second. So we'll warp in a little bit closer. Warp down, ready for physics range. Always a good idea. 'Cause you never know what's going to happen when physics loads. Quick save. Alright. I think we're in... just walk it forward to 1,000 meters. Oh wow, Zach. Zach is sizable. Zach's a big boy. Alright, let's work that target down. We want to park on top of him. Be careful not to overkill it though, because remember you've only got a certain amount of velocity to work with. And once that's gone, you'd have to turn around and increase your speed again. So we want to just slowly, reduce our vector until we come to a stop, basically next to Zach, or whatever we're attempting to rendezvous with. I'm impressed this thing has had the legs that it does. In the VAB, I didn't actually realise because of the nukes, they don't take liquid fuel. So I had this thing fully fueled with liquid fuel, as well as they don't take oxidizer. I had it chock full of oxidizers, so I actually ended up with more delta V than I had intended. Okay, we're 150 meters away, killing relative velocity. 130. Target velocity is down to 1.3 meters per second, 3.2. Okay, we're going to go all the way down right now. We are going to kill all relative velocity with the target. And then we're going to start phase 2, which is, of course, to change Zach's orbit. So, we need to arm the claw. We need to control from here. Always a good idea to click that. And then, when we've got Zach here, we need to target the center of mass for Zach. What that does is it targets the point at which you should put all your forces through. Similar to how a space shuttle's engines are offset, that's pretty much what we're going to do here. We're just going to make sure that our center of thrust, which is directly through this craft, operates directly through the center of the asteroid. Very important, especially with the bigger asteroids like the Class E ones. They're a bear, because if you don't get them docked up right, you end up with them trying to roll all over the shop. You know, you'll be... It's like trying to balance a ball on the end of your finger. It'll want to roll one way or another every time you push it, so you get this net torque, and the thing wants to take off, and it's very hard to alter an orbit when it's relentlessly spinning on you. So we're closing the distance now to the asteroid. We're getting very, very close. Now with the bigger asteroids, you enter some problems like, for example, your solar panels can't see the sun around the damn thing. I mentioned the center of mass problem and just the whole delta V issue. So right now we've got 48.25. Let's see what happens when I dock up with this thing. I actually just need to go this way a little bit and this way. Okay, there we go. And docked. There we go. So we have made dock with an asteroid. How awesome is that? So now we need to start phase 2, as I said. But first, we need to... Oh, you can see I'm at max yaw right now. Oh, I need to turn off RCS. Otherwise we'll burn through that very quickly. I just need to get a good screenshot for the thumbnail. Meanwhile, you can see that we're increasing in altitude very quickly, so that could be problematic. Let's just use time warp to arrest our velocity. we go, orbital. There we go. So now you know where the screenshot came from. Now, we need to go to target. Oh, we need to go to orbital, rather. We need to point retrograde. Because we need to pull this bad boy up. So, if I add a maneuver, let's see what it'll take. Wow, not much. That's what it's going to take to get into an orbit of... oh wow, there's another asteroid flying through the planet right now. Oh, bless me. So we have a maneuver to execute, so we'll get MechJob to do that for us. You can see there's a fair bit of inertia in this thing. Now I thought about packing bigger control wheels, and I probably would have. Well, that's actually a pretty cool photo. Yeah, I might do that instead. Yeah, I thought about bringing bigger control wheels, and I was going to, and then I was like, nah, one should be alright. As you can see, it wasn't. So the burn is very shortly. There it is. And you can see how the thing is rotating. That's not good. So we're going to abort the node execution right now. Because that rotation ain't what we want. And you can see the reason for that is we are slightly off on the center of mass. Let me just get something up here quickly. The node. Actually, no, we just want orbital retrograde. I'll do this by eye. They're not easy to maneuver, that's for sure. But yeah, if I was handling something larger, I would undock and redock and get that closer to the center of mass. Right now, I'm just going to see if I can actually handle this. Alright. Oh, we did actually make orbit. Oh, we're getting a bit of a wobble on. What if I... Nope. You can see, and it just wants to turn the craft no matter what you do. Now I want something else up here so I can see what's happening with everything. Now the apoapsis is what we're working on. Now the reason I'm going at 110 thrust is because this way we can actually maintain the attitude of the craft. Now as I was saying, how the bigger asteroids can sometimes block the sun. That's exactly what's happening right now. They can't blocked by Potato-roid. No good. So we'll keep working on this apoapsis, and I'm going to see if I can, I don't know, put a moon around the moon. There's all sorts of fun you can have with an asteroid, so go out, go forth, do it yourself. I've shown you how to do it. From here it's just a lot of patience, a lot of burning, and a lot of tweaks to try and get the asteroid into something that is a lot nicer. So what I'll do is I'll continue to drop this apoapsis. It might take me a couple of passes to do that. As you can see, it's on an orbit that's 12 days. Well, that's 12 days to there, 24 days in circumference. So it could take a fair bit of time. But until next time, well, there won't be any next time. This is the last episode. So thank you very much for joining me in this series. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed putting together a body of work that it has been. It represents kind of the best of what I've got. That flex though, you can see that it's, yeah. That is not good. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this entire... I wonder what is happening with the Delta V stats, because that's not hasn't updated. We don't know when this is going to burn out. We'll have to run on what we got in the tanks. Yeah, I've had fun, it's been great, and I look forward to seeing you around in my channel. Be sure to leave me suggestions. If there is a series you would like me to do in Kerbal Space Program, I'd love to consider it. So I need you to suggest it though, so leave it in the comments. Also, if you have questions about the game in general, don't hesitate to ask. And the last thing I'll do is I will plug Kerbal Academy on Reddit. If you go to Kerbal Academy, I'm actually a moderator of the subreddit now, and I think it's an awesome place to learn more about KSP. There's lots of people of varying abilities, and they are all more than happy to help. So if you're a new player, if you're an old player, I find it's a really excellent place for people to talk about the game and learn more in general. So until next time, thank you for joining me.